Well, good morning, everybody. It is Friday, April 3rd, and it is what's traditionally been called Good Friday. Even though the reason for what we celebrate, it would be at the time, a bad Friday, but ended up being a Good Friday, even though it was very uncomfortable and nasty and depraved. And God works all things out for His good and our glory, our good and His glory. Sorry, haven't had enough coffee yet this morning. Anyway, yeah, God works all things out for our good in His glory, even the death of our Savior on the cross. We could talk about what day of the week it was. It was a High Holy Passover, which started 2 days ago, or was it just a normal Passover? So we could talk about all those things. But the point is, today is celebrated as Good Friday. Um, and just mentioning that because that's what day it is. I do want to talk about today something we've mentioned before when we talked about momentum. Um, when we talk about making changes to momentum, our direction in life, our direction in health, our direction in wealth, our direction in spiritual uh, health, the momentum carries us forward. So we've already talked about that. But the small little adjustments we make need to be made on a regular basis so that we don't have to make big manipulations later on to correct the course. And so down the road, these small little changes have huge effects. You can't see them because you can't see the future. Um, but you've seen people that have made one little decision, like me. I'm a very huge man. Excuse me. And decisions I made early on to watch this TV show rather than exercise, or um, do this computer thing rather than do this sports thing, to eat this on a regular basis rather than to eat that on a regular basis, to eat until I'm satiated rather than to eat until I'm not full. All those little decisions, those little adjustments to my course have led me to where I'm at today. My brother Jeff, he runs marathons. He's a very uh, svelte uh, young man. He's a year and a half younger than me, but he made different choices. He chose to run, and that's his passion. He chose to do things that were different than mine, and so his end physically is different than mine. My brother Roger, same thing. He's in the construction, and he's a very tall. He's a big man, but he's not fat by any stretch of the imagination, at least compared to me. But he made little choices along the way. Now, you talk spiritually, we're all in different places for different reasons as well. Uh, Based upon those small little choices we make, and it sets up habits, which sets up character, which sets up who we are today. And so the small adjustments in all of those areas make big changes down the road. Same thing happens with your spine. The small adjustments to create um, space for the brain and the brainstem, the central nervous system, to regain control and to reestablish balance and normal is huge. And that slight shift changes everything down the road. And it's not just a correct once and you're done. It's a consistent checking and a consistent correction if you're off course. And that leads to transformation. That doesn't just lead to a slightly different outcome. The longer time you have to correct your course, um, the transformation from what could be to what is completely different. And so basically, it's small wins over time, small wins, small changes over time, and at the end of the season, you got the best record, and you go into the championship. If you don't make those small changes with your team, your small changes with what you do and how you play the game and how you practice down the road, um, you don't have a winning record, and you don't even get into the playoffs. So um, that's why the word adjustment, is critical to our vernacular, our vocabulary, because it has a totally different meaning than manipulation. It has a totally different meaning than crack, snapple, pop. Again, no coffee. Sorry about that. and it's a very precise word that has big meanings. That small adjustments on a regular basis can transform your future. So think about that today. Think about that over this weekend. A lot of that had to do with even Easter. When you think about the choices that Jesus made throughout his life to stay true to what he was put here for, and to do the Father's will no matter what. Those small little choices every day, those adjustments away from what he was being pulled to do, um, helped him stay true to his cause. Obviously, he was 100% God, 100% man. Again, that's another discussion for another day. But trying to draw it into what we're doing today is those little adjustments help transform the world, and celebrate that this weekend. Anyway, I'd love to be your chiropractor. If you don't have one, if you're in the upstate of South Carolina, I'd love to take care of you. If we don't fit, I can find you a chiropractor. I am the executive director for the state association, so got a lot of connections in the upstate. And if you're not even in the area, let me know. I've got connections with other state associations. I can find you at least a lead on good chiropractors wherever you are. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Again, enjoy Easter and what it stands for. And if you don't celebrate it, and you have a good weekend anyway.